Hi, it's Michael and Anthony here presenting Small Business Banter. A healthy micro and small business sector means a successful economy and a more vibrant society. Small Business Banter is about helping regional business owners better prepare for the current challenges, but also for the next stage of business success. I'm Michael Kerr, founder of Kerr Capital, advisors to business owners. Each week, with Anthony Turner from the Small Business Mentoring Service, we'll interview a different small business expert or a fellow business owner and get them to share their best tips and insights for you, the listeners. Small Business Banter is brought to you from the studios of 104.7 Gippsland FM and is heard across Australia on the Community Radio Network. Thanks also to our supporters, Kerr Capital and the Small Business Mentoring Service. So welcome to another edition of Small Business Banter Radio. Excellent to have with us today Jenn Donovan. Jenn Donovan's going to tell you a little bit about herself, but welcome in, Jenn.
Thanks for having me, Michael.
Really looking forward to talking with you. And of course, Anthony Turner from Small Business Mentoring Service is in as my co-host. Welcome, Anthony.
Thanks, Michael, and hello to everyone.
Excellent. Jenn, we chatted offline. You've got a varied background, so I'll surmise in two or three, in a very positive way, I mean that. But I'm looking forward to you telling the audience just to set up the conversation today. But you were a property lawyer turned social media marketing coach, social media and marketing coach. You through your jenndonovan.com.au website. You also have your own podcast as well, Small Business Made Simple. And what we particularly want to focus on is your role today as co-founder of Spend With Us, which is a marketplace for regional and rural businesses to sell online. So perhaps you could just give us a minute or two about where you are today and those various businesses and occupations you've had along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I spent about 17 years or so in law. And one night, as my story goes, my best friend and I actually had a few wines and we decided to quit our corporate jobs. And we actually bought a retail business. So neither of us had any retail experience whatsoever, but we went and bought a retail business. And that's pretty much where I found my passion for marketing and social media, growing a retail business in a regional area and growing it during one of the worst droughts I think we've ever seen, which is kind of like, that 07, 06 type of time in our lives with GFC was a little bit tough. So I learned a lot about social media and marketing. We sold that shop and then I decided that I would like to help other small business owners grow their businesses and really make marketing a priority for them. And so that's the path that I set myself up on through Social Media and Marketing Australia. And so I've been doing that for about 3 or 4 years now. And then October 2019, as a marketer and social media person, I spend a lot of time working with rural businesses. And I was actually on a tour around rural New South Wales, so Deniliquin and Hay and Leeton and Griffith. And it was coming up to Christmas and everyone was really sad. If you live in a rural area, we know that farmers don't have money, towns don't have money, and no one was particularly looking forward to Christmas. Buy from the bush was a hashtag at the time that no one kind of got. So I decided to open a Facebook group called Buy from a Bush Business and just invited my friends and my clients and decided to let them try and sell to a different audience that was outside their towns. And 18 months or so later, that's got 315,000 people in it now.
Wow.
And Spend With Us, which is the online marketplace, so think Amazon but for rural and regional Australia, that has stemmed from that. So I've joined forces with a couple of other rural ladies to create that marketplace. So in a nutshell, that's kind of my directory of the last 30 years.
Well, yeah, I like that. It started with buying a business on impulse. Like that's all. That's all. It's great. There was this inspiration, and there's nothing like throwing yourself into that environment to learn, and from there be able to probably better advise other owners because you've actually you've been in it, and you've you can see what the real challenges and opportunities are. So to before we go into Spend With Us, that business you bought, what kind of retail business was that?
It was actually a kitchen shop. Well, we bought it as a giftware shop and turned it into a kitchen shop, which was proudly one of my first lessons in marketing was, listen to the customers. And there was no kitchen shop in town. So that's decided with where we wanted to go. There was a heap of giftware shops, but no kitchen shops. The big joke was that neither myself or my business partner could cook. So it was a steep learning curve for both of us. And then we ended up doing cake decorating, and neither of us can do cake decorating, but we hired people. So it was a very fun few years of my life for sure, and learning at a very fast rate.
Right. Sounds like a classic business startup story. A couple of wines, buy a business that you know nothing about, and then battle your way through.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd have to say, we bought it to have fun. We wanted to be our own bosses, and so we kind of bought it to play shops. That ultimate dream, but soon learnt that actually doesn't happen, and you have to work for these things. So
what would your advice be, Jen, to for people not to make that same mistake again? I know I've made it as well. So,
assuming you call it a mistake.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, look, I guess there's no such thing as a mistake. There's just lessons to learn from, isn't there?
Absolutely.
Look, probably research. Research what you, what business you're going into, and is there a need within your customer base that you have? But sometimes I'm really a ready, fire, aim person. Just do it. Do it and perfect it as you go along, because if we wait for the right time, it may never come. If someone said to me, would you like to be a retailer? I was in law. I was like, no, I can't do that. But I did, so I just learned as I went. So sometimes research is good, and sometimes diving right in there is also a good thing.
Yeah, what you live out becomes, better quality research, right? Because, you've actually done it. I mean, this thing of, buying a business, it's I think more than ever, people are looking at you transitioned out of corporate or out of a large professional services firm to running your own business, and we absolutely encourage that. But it's there's maybe 100,000 businesses for sale at any one time in Australia, but there are probably I've done a lot of research in this area. There's probably 700,000 that would actually be for sale, and what you need to do instead of looking in business for sale directory is to knock on doors and say to owners, is it time for you to move on? It's remarkable how you can create opportunities like you did just by having a conversation. And yes, be prepared, but get in there and have a crack. So anyway, that's probably not where we were, but it's a hell of a story. And, it talks to having, good conversation over wine, I suppose.
Yeah, or not.
Or not, yeah. Or making sure that the next day you kind of counsel yourself and get some advice. But anyway, it's a hell of a way to start. So let's switch to Spend With Us. So the linkage for us is that it is regional and rural businesses that are on the platform. Can you describe the platform, what you're aiming to achieve, and the kinds of businesses that are on the platform?
Yeah, so I guess what we're trying to achieve is a little bit twofold. So for me, like I said, I started the Facebook group. It grew really quite quickly. It's a very big, successful Facebook group, but things disappear really quickly. So you put up a post, and unless you've got some good timing or some good traction, it gets pulled down the line fairly quickly. So the next thing for me was to start a marketplace up so people could actually, put their products on a website with traffic coming to it. And of course, I didn't want to do that by myself. So Lauren and Sarah had started Spend With Us through the bushfires. My group was very drought focused. So we've joined forces to have Spend With Us the way it looks right now. So I guess small businesses often aren't online, and we saw that or don't have a website. And we very much saw that at the start of COVID with how many businesses all of a sudden decided they needed a shopping cart and got online. But the fear for years that's only stage one. Like then you've got to actually get the traffic to it. And you've got platforms like Facebook that are really, the algorithm isn't geared to help you link out. The algorithm is geared for you to stay on Facebook. So linking out to your website through social media apps just isn't going to bring you the traffic that it probably would have, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So our thought is, an online marketplace. So again, if you think kind of like an Amazon, it's different to eBay because you only have one checkout, whereas in eBay, I guess you check out each individual shop that you go into, whereas this is all one big checkout like on Amazon. And the idea is that we're providing the traffic. So, we're doing the Google ads, we're doing the Facebook ads and the Instagram ads and, the email marketing and things like that. So, so rather than you trying to get traffic to your own website and fighting, 100,000 other websites like yours, you're sort of going to onto a marketplace which can help you have traffic. Not saying that you shouldn't have your own website, but maybe it's a good alternative to have it in both. And as far as businesses that we have, they vary. So they're all small businesses, so under 20 employees, and they've got to have live in a rural or regional area. So there are rules. Right. But everything from handmaids to goods that they would just sell in their normal retail bricks and mortar businesses.
So, Jenn, to protect the Spend With Us brand itself, how do you select the businesses, or is there some sort of process that a business would need to go through to become part of the Spend With Us family?
Yeah, so we do have memberships as such. So memberships start at $0 to become a member, and then you can go up to $147 a year, which is about 40 cents a day. And depending on what membership you choose is to how much of, I guess, the different marketing strategies and that we actually put into those businesses. So so that's pretty much, go to the website, choose which package you would like and sign up. And of course, you're vetted through our little questionnaire, which, how many employees do you have? Where do you live? What does your product sell? And things like that. And then, of course, you get, the group as well, with 315,000 people in it.
So I guess one of the key things there is that the business itself needs to be doing some of its own work. It's not one of these things like a lot of people, small businesses, I guess, do because they don't know better, is that there tends to be a set and forget, if I put it there, that'll take care of all of my marketing. I won't have to do anything else myself.
Yeah, kind of. We do a lot of marketing, but what we expect from them, I guess, is that, their photos will be the type of photos that people would look at and want to buy the product. That, when they describe their product, they're not just telling us that, it takes 2 AA batteries and it's, 30 centimeters long, but they're actually, using emotive language, just like any other business that would make you want to buy that product. You're not just telling me the features, you're also telling me the benefits to me as a consumer. So they're the kind of things that we try and teach them as they go along, as well as some keywords and that. But yes, the more promotion they can do, the better off their site will be on our site as well.
Yeah, thanks, Jenn. And on today's episode of Small Business Banter Radio, we're talking with Jenn Donovan from jenndonovan.com.au and spendwithus.com.au. Jenn, that platform, can you talk about some of the businesses that have, really perhaps transformed themselves, from being a part of that? It's like that co-opetition thing. You're aggregating a lot of regional businesses to sell their products and bringing a bigger audience that they could themselves. But can you talk about some of the businesses that that you like, that you think have really benefited enormously from the co-opetition?
Yeah, absolutely. So probably the first one that comes to mind is Amy. So Amy has 2 folds of businesses, but the one in particular that comes to mind is called AM Paper Arts. So she actually makes paper from grasses and things like that. So from native grasses and things. And she also has an alpaca farm. So she makes things from the alpaca wool. So she was one of the businesses, classic example of, went online, struggling to get get traffic, struggling to get people to see her Facebook or her Instagram, and then sort of come along and joined us, both open to shop, but also use the Facebook group quite strategically as well, and has just managed to grow her business to the point where, if we head back probably 12 months when the drought was still really gripping. So she's near Dubbo, so, rural New South Wales, very much rural New South Wales. Her products were the things putting food on the table, like, the selling of the stock, and, there was no crops that they could put in. In fact, she's seen her first cropping season just this year since moving to the farm. Other than that, they've just been in drought. So it's very heartwarming to think that something so seemingly easy for us to do as, web designers and marketers has actually made such a huge difference to livelihoods and put food on the table. And, there was at one stage they sold some sheep, and the sheep sold for less than what she made in a week selling, alpaca wool balls type of thing. So, but I guess there's a real movement, though, that people want to buy from local people.
Yep.
And I think we've just tapped into that at the right time. And I don't think we started it. I don't think we will end it. But I think it's just the way that the values of Australians have kind of changed. And now buy local's always been a thing, but now I think it means so much more to us. And we really do want to support, the local shops down the road, or, the small rural shops that we can't get to because of, travel restrictions and things like that.
I think it's a great point about the travel restrictions, because now we're being forced to explore more of our own backyard rather than everybody else's backyard. And I think platforms like yours enable people to get an idea of products and services to go and see in different areas. What are the sorts of businesses that you would like to see come on to spend with us that probably haven't sort of recognised the opportunity, how do you sort of get those businesses on them, and also how do you get them to overcome those fear barriers about being online?
Yeah, the fear barriers one, I guess, comes with if people are just brave enough to give it a go, whether it's our site or whether it's, themselves. I guess that comes in the first sale that you get, that elation of getting a sale online and that euphoria that it gives you. I know, myself, when I was online, whenever my phone would ding for a sale, it'd be like, literally a happy dance type of thing. So I think, if people would just, and to start small as well, like, if you have a bricks and mortar, or if you have a business that has 100 products, you don't have to put 100 products on. Put your best selling 4 on for a start and see how that goes and things like that. I guess the people that we would like to see embrace our website a little bit more are the people that are struggling to get traffic to their website, because it's very much, something that we can help them with. Because, their brand awareness becomes more. So yes, they might find us in our group or they might find us on our platform, but it grows their particular brand awareness. And, they go over and like their Facebook page, and then they see, the humans behind the brand, hopefully over on the Facebook or their Instagram and things like that. So, anyone who sort of, I guess, was sold the furphy of, open an online shop and they will come, are the people that we're trying to help the most, or the people that perhaps haven't been game enough to do it at all and want someone to hold their hand. Because of course the other thing we have is a little sellers group. So we have an online Facebook group where anyone who is our member, whether it's free or not or paid, gets to be in this group and ask questions and get answers, not just from us, but the community of the 500 or 600 other people that are in there.
It's really outstanding. I think there's been a wave of almost expectation that all these businesses will transition online, and it's overwhelming. Like any business owner has got a myriad of things to deal with on a day-to-day basis, and now I've got to do this. And some have born online, and some have embraced it, but a lot are still struggling. So does this is this like a pathway for a business owner that's maybe not quite got the time, energy, or understanding to fully embrace online? They could partner with you, get a sense of what it's like, join the community, see what's happening with other businesses. So a pathway rather than you have to build I think you said it was a furphy to build the online store and they will come.
Yeah. Yeah. I think anyone in business that just goes to work and opens the front door and expects customers, it's no different online. You can't just build it and expect customers. But I think that's a really good point. Anyone who perhaps wants to dip their toe in the water can come, join up for free, put 4 or 5 of their best products in their shop, join the community, ask some questions, get some feedback. Like we offer, little diagnostics, I guess, on people's stores to say, so I think your photo with your lighting or your keywords aren't quite, in the H1 heading. And so that's how people can find you, as well as, we run webinars. So we have people who we had a lady not so long ago who was a specialist on taking photos with iPhones. So it was kind of like, you don't need big studios to take good photos. You just need to know what you're doing a little bit more. So we offer those sorts of things as well, like that learning that can help them. And that's just not helping them on our site. That's helping them, on their social media and wherever else that they do marketing as well.
Yeah, it sounds really empowering. There's, more people, the regional areas have been through an awful lot the last few years. And that example of selling something, it was a paper, got more than, their farming product. It's kind of, happy and sad at the same time. But, you're enabling people the opportunity to express themselves through their business, to perhaps even take the big leap and get out of metro areas. And, it's not, you don't have to be based in the metro areas to run a business now. It's
No, and it's really showcasing the talent that we have. I know there's a lot of, especially through the Facebook group, there's been a lot of people who are artists. So whether that be painting or drawing or sculpture, that it would never have got the time or the cash to go and run, an exhibition in the cities. And yet, now they sort of get the city people coming to them through, marketing and the Facebook group and that. And they've managed to, get their things under the noses of people they would never have done. And I think I hear a lot from people that they're just blown away at the talent that rural Australia has. And it's just like, yeah, well, we could have told you that if you just asked. Like, we knew it was there. We just needed to get it under the people who perhaps didn't know it was there.
And I think one of the things that I've seen, Jen, is that a lot of people in the rural areas are pretty modest about, getting out there and talking about themselves. So this is a great learning experience for them to become, what I call, and my wife and I had a gift shop in the Yarra Valley some time ago. Every business, it doesn't matter whether you're the accountant or whatever, you're all part of that tourism ecosystem of a regional area. And the more that people can connect with that, the better. So what do you see as the next steps with Spend With Us? What other things or areas are you thinking about getting into?
Yeah, look, we have some fairly hairy, lofty goals for Spend With Us. We want it to be a household name. We want it to be, like Amazon is a household name. We want it to be that. We want to showcase rural and regional Australia and have people really understand the talent that's out there, and that, they can shop just as easy with them as they can the big multinationals through different platforms. We're currently applying for a liquor license so that we can do boutique wines and boutique breweries, given the what's happened there with exports and things like that. We're hoping that might be another little area that we can help rural and regional Australia in. Not to mention, we had a lot of fires in the Adelaide Hills and, in certainly where I'm from. So I'm from northeast Victoria, Riverina, live on the border. We've had our own set of problems in the last 12 months living in the border. But yeah, just sort of looking for different ideas like that. Who do we need to help to, get online and to get a bigger audience and have more brand awareness? So they're the little things that we're looking at the moment.
Excellent. Jen, unfortunately, we're coming up to the last couple of minutes. So we're going to do one of those countdowns, like, you've got 60 seconds to tell us your best 3 tips for owners who are struggling with social media, and we should endorse them thinking about Spend With Us. But you've done a lot of work with owners in social media. What are the 2 or 3 things that you get most bang for buck for, in your opinion?
Yeah, then no one's going to like it, but I'm going to say it anyway. You got to show up. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. And if you are always just putting products up, or you're always putting beautiful sayings up and not showing your actual face and your voice and your personality, then that is the number one thing that you can do better as far as your marketing goes. No matter what platform you're on or what piece of marketing you're looking at, people have got to show up, get in front of that camera a little bit more. I know it's irky. I do a 30-day challenge, and one whole week we spend on video and getting people out of their comfort zones. So, doing more video for your business, showing up, and also networking and collaborations. I'm a huge advocate that your network is relative to your net worth. So, if you want to get more sales, get out there, join your local chamber, join your local tourism board, join the local school board, whatever it is, get out there and start networking with other people and, branding yourself, I guess, as part of your business.
Excellent. Oh, we've probably had 5 or 6 guests over the last 8 or 9 months that have talked about that very thing. The hashtag Made the Grampians Way was an example of that, but it was all basically getting out and understanding that that community depends on the viability of those small businesses, and we're better off supporting each other rather than thinking of ourselves as competitors. So that excellent advice, Jen. Look, thank you so much for your time today. We really it was a great conversation. Thank you for for your insights and wisdom. We really enjoyed that.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It's so good to, be able to chat rural with some people and, talk about rural businesses, which is, obviously a passion of all of us.
Correct. Yeah, we're here to support. All right. You go well, Jen.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Anthony. It's been great.
So that's all for today's episode of Small Business Banter. Anthony and I continue to be inspired by bringing you small business experts and other small business owners and hearing their stories. For any of the links, resources or information we've talked about on the show today, or to contact Anthony or myself, please head over to smallbusinessbanter.com, or you can find us on both Facebook and Instagram. Anthony and I would love you to tune in at the same time next week for another episode of Small Business Banter.